Hey there, welcome back to the magazine cutouts, my YouTube series where I explore playful and unexpected ways to turn magazine pages into creative gold. And today's video is all about tape. Yep, we're making our own custom collage tape using magazine scraps and a few simple supplies. 4 techniques, no printer needed, and a lot of creative fun. First, you're going to get some baking paper because it has a surface that is like a bit greasy for when you bake your cakes and your pies. Nothing will stick to it. But first, we're going to have to tape this paper to my table because otherwise you see it curl up, and that's something I don't need. I'm just using simple regular tape. And if your paper is just lying flat, you don't need to do this step. Then you're going to get your tape. It's the star of the show. And you're going to stick it onto this baking paper. Make sure it's lying flat because you want to have a flat surface that you're going to stick your project on. I'm going to try to cut it. And I'm going to do a second one because I want to do a different project on here as well. And with these nails, it's so hard to get this tape off the roll, but I'm glad it worked. Sometimes it can take me forever. Okay, I have this lying flat as well. You see where they are because they're a bit shiny. And then we're going to get our magazine. It doesn't matter what kind of magazine. It doesn't really need to have any special pictures in there. But I decided to make some green tape. I love to have some green tape, so I'm going to search for different kinds of green or that has like a bushy feel. If it's a little bit blue, it doesn't matter either, but I'm just going to search for different kinds of greens. And I want to have light greens and darker greens. And I'm okay if there's any text on the paper because yeah, that's green as well, and I like the mixture of different kinds of paper. I'm just using really thin flat papers. These papers you can use your own collage papers as well, but if you want to have a nice tape, it's preferably to be like flat and not too thick. So that's why I'm using my magazine, and because I love to work with magazine scraps. And when you think you have a nice variety, you just put your magazine aside and get your matte medium, because we're going to stick those scraps onto the tape. I'm just going to pour a little on it and spread it out with my silicone brush. You can do it with your fingers too. You don't need a silicone brush for this. You can do it with a credit card, an old credit card as well. And I'm just going to tear the papers up and put them on my tape. And it's really hard to see where my tape is, but since there's some matte medium on there and because it looks a bit shiny, I can still see the tape, but you can feel the tape, and if you go over the edges, it's fine because you can cut it off or leave it as is. I'm not being too precise here. Sometimes you just see me speeding things up when I'm just tearing or when I'm looking through the pages, just for you to get the idea how this process works. And otherwise it's getting really, really boring. Sometimes the papers overlap and you need to have a glue to make them stick on the other pieces of paper, the other scraps. So I'm just going to go over it with my silicone brayer or my silicone brush again to get the glue everywhere I like. And I'm just doing the scraps randomly, just want to have like different kinds of tones and tints of the green everywhere. But I am not too precious if I just have a small bit, a large bit. It's not going to be a perfect composition. It's not going to be a piece of art, since this is going to be a part of your art or just your art journal. And when you're done, I'm going to put a bit of matte medium on top again. Why? Because this is going to seal the tape. You don't have to, you can leave the scrappy parts, but I like to have like a sealant on top of it. With the first one I use scraps, but the second one I want to have like a full sheet of paper. This is kind of cheating because this is not really a sheet from a magazine. I had just an old road map lying around in which I'm going to adhere to the tape. Not in scraps, but in a hole. And I can just measure it, but I don't have to because I can cut off the edges later on. And I don't mind if it's not precise. I'm just going to cut off like the excess that is really too much. But again, I'm not doing this too precise. You can if you want to. But this will be fine later on. And I can put the matte medium on here, but I think I'm going to use something different to see it. I think I'm going to use the tape again. But as you can see, I cannot really get it off with my nails. Well, you can't really see it because I just kept it out of frame a bit. But you see me tearing the tape. And yeah, then I get impatient and I don't want to get the other parts of the tape off. I'm still trying a bit, but a different tape, it will probably go better. But for some reason, it's just not working. It's my nails, and when the tape is like torn, it doesn't really work that well. So I decided not to use the tape to put a sealant on there, but I put on the matte medium like the previous one. So it's not really a different kind of tape now. It's more or less the same process, but yeah, well, you can see your options here. Okay, and now I'm going to have to let this dry. And while it's drying, I can do a different project. Again, I can use the tape, but I think I'm going to use smaller tape because it's easier because it has a dispenser. And I'm going to look for something in here. This time I'm going to use some text. This is a Dutch text, but camper. A camper is a camper van. It's the same in English. So I decided to do this one. And I'm deciding to get the whole word in once. You can, but if you want to, you can also get different letters each time. And you can use the same process for doing it. Just press down the tape really, really firmly. Now you see the text lifting off, but the text is stuck to my tape, and that's what I need. You can do it letter by letter with the same piece of tape, but I decided to do the whole word. I'm going to put the magazine aside, and I'm going to get my bowl of water. I'm going to put the tape in here, and so it can soak a bit, but while it's soaking, of course, I can do a different project again. Now I'm going to use my double-sided tape. And this double-sided tape, that's the easiest project. Just going to cut a piece off. And the last time you saw me putting the tape on top of the piece I like, and now I'm going to do it differently. Well, when my nails finally get the tape off. This is why I usually work with glue. It's so much easier than tape. It's off. Put it here. And I'm going to grab a piece of paper. And I like this because this pattern is really, really nice. And again, I'm going to put this on top of this piece of paper. No, I'm going to tear it out and I'm going to lay it upside down and put the sticky part on the back side of the paper that I really like. And this double-sided tape is just photo tape. When you do like the scrapbooking with your photos, you can use all kinds of double-sided tape. This is just something I had lying around, and this is the easiest project you could have ever done. Because now I'm going to cut the excess magazine page off, and here I have my tape. It's all done. And because you have the back side on, you can like save it for a project or gift it to someone. I got it off, and now I'm going to get my journal, my art journal, and you can see all the projects I've put in here. And go to a new page, and I can just stick it into my journal. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. But I think now my other project is ready to go. So yes, it is. My paper is soaked, and when it's soaked, I can just rub the paper off, and as you see, the ink, the letters are still there on the tape, and that's exactly what I wanted, because now I have transparent tape that I can use in my art journal. Just rub it off, and while you rub it, you feel that there's no sticky side on the tape anymore. Still, since it's still a bit wet, it will stick in your journal. And if you're afraid that it will like fall out on a later date, because yeah, it's not as sturdy when you have like glue or sticky page, you can just get your glue stick out. But now I'm just going to lay it on the paper, and it's on there, and it's perfect. Of course, it's better if you just put it on something else, but I have my glue stick, but I'm not going to use it. You can put it on top of an image, a painting, whatever. But now we're going to get to our last pieces of tape. Because the matte medium is dry. If you don't wait until it's dry, you're going to tear up the pages that are, or the scraps that are on top, and I just want to use the whole tape. See, it's still sticky because it's on our baking paper. And I can take it off and put it in my art journal. And if I don't want to use it, I can put it on my baking paper again, because it will stick on there again, and use it for a later date. Put it on, because I just cut a piece off. That's probably enough to let you see what it looks like in my art journal. And I'm going to stick it in there. And there you go. And again, another kind of tape for my art journal. And the last one actually works the same. And you can cut the edges off, all the excess that doesn't really stick to your tape if you want to. This side. But it's really hard to see through the paper. If you actually want to do it, you can, but I just thought it would be easier. And since it's just a little bit sticking out, I'm fine with it. I'm going to leave it as is, but I just want to have more or less like a straight line. So what I'm going to do is just cut on the top side, because when I cut here, I can use just a little piece. I don't need to use everything. I can make, like, if I cut it here, I have like smaller tape, and you can vary in size if you want to, because I had the large one with my other tape. So have a small strip, and this small strip, of course I have to peel the baking paper off, but this one is easier. It's a piece sticking out, and I can stick it on here, and it looks perfect again. 4 kinds of paper. And of course, you can cut it every size, any size you want. But something you could also do is, instead of cutting, using, for example, punching shape. But one thing is, if you use this punch, I have a star punch, you have to like have a lot of strength. You have to like really push through, just because of the baking paper. It's really, really strong. And I think it's going to work. Let me see. Yes, there it is. The only thing is, if you don't have like a piece of baking paper sticking out, yeah, you have to have those handy nails to get the paper off, and that wasn't really working for me this time. I'm trying. There are a lot of more options that what you can do with your tapes and with your papers. And I'm really curious what you like to do and how you embellish your art journal with your tapes. So please let me know in the comments, or just send me a message or tag me on the Instagram, because I really love to see it. This video is a part of my magazine cutout series. If you like the series, you can subscribe to my channel and get a lot more videos. But I really love it if you leave a comment or just leave a thumbs up. See you next time. Bye bye.